Alright, guys, let's have a real conversation over here. Ruben Amorim, outside Bayindir, Bruno Fernandes. Once again, we find ourselves in a situation where we want to point fingers. Who is at fault? Is it Amorim for picking outside Bayindir instead of starting our new goalkeeper that we bought? Is it outside Bayindir for not showing enough effort? Most so especially with that first goal, because that first goal, yes, it was a beautiful goal. It was a beautiful shot, but could he have done more? Could he have stepped away from his line to put the striker under pressure? Could he have dived and made a possible save, right? Or was it Bruno Fernandes? The pressure was on. It was 2-1. We needed that equalizer. We managed to find ourselves in a position where we had the opportunity to equalize and grab a point or go for it and win the game. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. So we find ourselves back in this conversation after winning the previous week, thinking that, hey, you know what? Maybe we can go and get 3 points at Brentford to sort of ease the pressure off us going into that Liverpool game, because we all know that Liverpool game is going to be hectic. And even though there are some doubts around Hugo Ekitike, because I think he has picked up an injury, and Mohamed Salah, who hasn't really yet reached those highs, like he's not firing at all cylinders as we know him to be. You can sort of say he's even off form, right? But still, Liverpool are a strong team. They are well organized. They can easily get the job done if they want to, right? And United's form right now is just pure relegation form, to be honest. It's nowhere near where we need it to be. So I don't want to point fingers, right? Because I think I'm tired of it. I'm tired of saying, why didn't Amorim start this player? Why didn't Altay not stop that goal? Why didn't this player not take his chance? Why is Bruno Fernandes continuously being put in a position to take penalties when it's very clear? Yes, I know he has a good record at Manchester United and in his own personal career of scoring penalties, but clearly it hasn't been working for him. Should he have just given Bryan Mbeumo that penalty for him to take? Because Bryan Mbeumo has been on form since he's come to United. He has had very good games. Maybe there's only one game I can point to where I can say Bryan Mbeumo's game was not that good, but he has been stellar for us. Stellar. So, guys, in the comments section down below, let's have a real conversation. What do you think is the real problem at this club? Is it the system? And if it's the system, please state why it is the system, right? Be very specific. Say the reason why it's not working is because in this system, this doesn't work against these oppositions in the EPL, okay? And we'll go back and forth. We'll dissect it and we'll see maybe that is the reason. Is it the manager, right? Do you want him in? Do you want him out? If you want him out, why? If you still want him to stay, why do you want him to stay? Are you seeing something that we are not seeing? All right. And this is not me saying I want Ruben Amorim out. I just want a different perspective, right? I want to hear your reasons beyond my reasons. I've got my reasons why I want Ruben Amorim to stay. I want to hear yours so I can be like, oh, I actually didn't think about that. Or if you want him gone, then I can also reflect on that and say, okay, cool, right? These are the reasons why you want Ruben Amorim gone. And I don't want to hear anything about the system, because that last game that we won before going to international break, I said there will be moments where we're going to play good football. There's going to be a combination and everyone's going to raise their hands and say, oh, this is it. This is what's going to work. And I clearly stated that some of these situations are going to be once-off and we shouldn't get carried away. And I think that's probably what happened, right? We won that previous game. We got carried away with the result, right? And we just sort of felt like, oh, we're going to go to Brentford and get the job done, right? And there's nothing wrong with being optimistic. Everyone was optimistic. Everyone went to the game thinking, oh, wow, we're going to have this big score. In fact, most people predicted the score the other way around. right? Most people thought we were going to score 3, Brentford only get 1. And the reason being is because for the first time this season, we've started our front 3 players at the same time, which is Matthias Cunha, Benjamin Sesko, and Bryan Mbeumo, our front 3, right? So we expected great things to happen. Speaking of that front 3, right, you can clearly see that Matthias Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo have far more football experience, not only as professional players, but also as players in the Premier League. Just by the way their movements are on and off the ball, and the positions that they get themselves in to score goals. This game in particular really exposed Sesko. Now, I'm not talking anything negative about Sesko, but it just sort of exposed that there's still growth to Sesko's game, right? I know some of you may have thought bringing in Sesko was going to be the equivalent of bringing in a Gyökeres, the equivalent of maybe bringing in, a Harry Kane, an Ollie Watkins, etc., etc. But the truth of the matter is, Benjamin Sesko coming to United was basically the same as Rasmus Højlund coming to United. The only difference is Benjamin Sesko just had a few more years of experience in his game. All right? And it's clear to see that there's still time that we need to give Benjamin Sesko to get to that level that we need him at. And it also shows that aside from bringing in Benjamin Sesko, we did need to bring in a more experienced striker. Because Bryan Mbeumo was getting into better goal-scoring positions, as well as Matheus Cunha, whereas Benjamin Sesko was not. Congratulations to Benjamin Sesko for scoring his first goal. I want to say that, right? I got nothing negative to say about Sesko. He got us a goal, all right? And it was a goal that we needed going into the second half. We didn't need to go into that second half 2 goals down. We needed to at least go with some sort of leverage, right? Some sort of motivation for us to still get back into the game. Because if we went into that second half, not have scored a goal in the first half, I think this result could have been something else. Completely, entirely something else. It could have been worse. It really could have been worse. Now, watching that game, the whole time I'm thinking, United, the only problem we have is in the midfield. But like I said, you could see from the attacking that Benjamin Sesko still needs more time. The defense, again, it's also not quite there, right? Even though Matheus Cunha and Harry Maguire are good defenders, I don't think they work well together in this system. Maybe in a backline 4, right? But I don't think they work particularly well in this system. Before I move on, big shout out to Matthias Jensen because I think he also had, a good game today. Harry Maguire didn't keep the high line, and he was caught. He was caught out. Yeah, he was beaten for pace. But I don't know. Like I said, it's very hard to point a finger at an individual when this team as a whole is not performing, and you can't point a finger to one person. Yes, you can point a finger to certain moments of the game that if a certain player did something different, then it would have been something different. But ultimately, fundamentally, there's something wrong with these players. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a mentality thing. I don't know if it's the basic fundamentals of football that they're completely throwing out the window, but everything just seems to be a smidge shy of what is required at this level in the league playing for this club. Something is shorting. Why are you not as clinical? Why are they not as disciplined? Why are they not as sharp as some of these other teams? Why are the players not as sharp as other players from other clubs? Brentford is a good side, right? I'm not saying that we're supposed to be just given 3 points like that. But these are the sort of teams that United should be putting aside. Now, we all knew that the start of the season was going to be difficult. We knew that, right? We knew that we had a lot of difficult fixtures, but at the same time, we also knew that those fixtures that we could have won, that we should have been getting 3 points from to sort of keep us afloat, right? Until we sort of got past that wave of difficult fixtures, right? We were supposed to even and balance everything out, get through the woods, and then start picking up points and then see from there. But right now, it just seems like it's anyone's game. We had a good opportunity, a very good opportunity of getting 10 points and moving into that top 5, top 4 conversation. Obviously, other teams still needed to play. We're going to move down spots, but it doesn't matter. But even just being there for a couple of hours or even just for 24 hours before the end of the game week would have given the players, the manager, even though the manager said that the league position is not important, it would have given them something to look forward to. Like, hey, we were 4th yesterday. The game week has ended. We're 7th. The only thing that's separating us right now is goal difference. Let's go to Liverpool and take the game there. You know what I mean? Let's go for a point. Let's go for all 3 points. But yet again, we don't get the job done, and I just don't see where United players get the motivation from to go and see out a result at Liverpool. I don't see where the fans get the motivation from to go and cheer these players to go and get a result, whether that's a draw or that's a win against Liverpool. It just seems like a highly impossible task. And losing against Liverpool is, I don't know where that's going to leave everyone at that club mentally. I really don't know. It's so weird. It's so funny because, when we considered the first goal, I sort of didn't get moved. I didn't get affected. It has almost become a norm. I don't know about you guys. You can let me know in the comments down below. But for me, it's like it's become such a normality for United to concede first. It's become a normality for us to concede so early in the game. It's become a normality for us just to, like, expecting us to score first or expecting us to win a game is almost like, how can I put it? It's like a rare thing. It's like when we do get a win, it's this glorious moment. Oh my God, I can't believe we won. Especially when we're playing teams like Burnley, Fulham, you know what I mean, Brentford. It shouldn't be like that for United. Losing, conceding, just completely falling apart, missing penalties. It's outrageous. Once again, Kobe comes in, does his thing. I think he had a good game. The Kobe conversation, I really want to dive into it. Maybe I'll reserve that for another video. I don't know what Ruben has to do, but Kobe has to play. Kobe has to play. It sort of reminds me of this moment during Ten Hag's spell when we were crying and begging for Ahmed to start. Ahmed is ready. Ahmed is ready. You need to play him. Ahmed is ready. And he never played him and he eventually got sacked. Now, I'm not saying that Ruben will get sacked because he's not playing Kobe Mainoo, but I just don't understand how some fans in the fan base, right, have sort of like I don't know how to put it because I don't want to insult anyone, right? And I don't want it to feel like I'm attacking people who are for Ruben when he says that Kobe's not ready or Kobe still needs more or Kobe whatever. But Kobe Mainoo has always been ready. And players always go through a dip, right? Especially young players when they're still finding themselves. But Kobe is at that stage where he needs to be playing first team football for this club. And Ruben came out and said what he needed to say about Kobe. And all of a sudden, a lot of the fans, a lot of United fans' perspective over Kobe Mainoo has changed. Whereas before, everyone was convinced that yes, Kobbie Mainoo has to be one of the names on the starting 11. But somehow that has just all gone out the window, and I don't know where that has come from. I don't know why all of a sudden fans feel that, yes, he's not as quick, he's not as whatever. And I'm like, but why were you not saying this stuff under Ten Hag? Why were you not saying this stuff last season? He had an injury, he recovered, he was making his way back into fitness, back into form. He's there. Why is he not starting? So, yeah, guys, 3-1. Liverpool next. Let's have a conversation. Hit me up in the comment section down below. What's going on at United? What is going on at United? Alright, guys. See you in the next one. Peace.